Hello, and welcome to another episode of Delusional Chaos. And today's podcast, I'm going to be giving a little summary of 2025 and just talk you through all of the chaos that I went through this year. This year was definitely like one of the biggest years for me for like personal growth, and I just wanted to talk you through all the little bits that happened. So I'm going to grab my notes and then we're going to deep dive into them. But if you like this podcast, then make sure you give it a like, comment and subscribe, and let me just get into it. In January, I started the new year with a situationship which I'd been seeing for a couple of months and it was going well. So we decided to spend New Year together. All was chilled, kind of cute. But after that, I had to end it because of some red flags, and I'm glad that I did that. But he did come back to me, or he actually added me on Facebook like a month ago. So I clearly wasn't the problem. But anyway, in January, I started taking TikTok a tiny bit more seriously, because I had posted like last year, but I started taking it like the tiniest bit more seriously. And in that month, I also signed my contract for my first place out of home. And I was really excited just to kind of get my own space and start this new chapter. And I also brought a vintage necklace holder, which I had been dreaming of since I was little. Like, my mum had a similar one and I always told myself like I want one of those, and it's actually behind the camera right now, but I will insert a picture of it here just because you girlies need to get on that. But I then started to prepare emotionally and physically to move out of my home, and that was fine, but it obviously did take a lot of emotional toll on me and it was a big change for me. And then on the 1st of February, I moved out of my house, and then I had the girls from work over. We had a really cute like first night together and it was really exciting, like this new chapter. And then in the first week of living there, I had a leak from the bathroom upstairs into my bedroom, which was really fun to like start off my new chapter. But yeah, love that. And another thing that happened in February is I decorated my brand new room all cozy and cute when I finally had the leak sorted. And another thing that also happened in my February is that I started writing passive aggressive notes in the kitchen at my shared house because people were nicking my stuff. So I put a note in the fridge and I put them in the food cupboard just to kind of like deter people, because if you were looking in the cupboard and you saw the note, it was your fault for looking in the first place. So I wasn't looking in other people's cupboards. Like, I respected other people's privacy, but a lot of people in that house did not. But another thing that I did was I started actually taking TikTok more seriously in that month. And then I also started my blog, which I wanted to do to kind of get back into writing and to get my like shared experiences out there. And I didn't really have kind of the confidence yet to post content about it. I just wanted to write it out and put it out there. But then I also really luckily got to see the 7-planet alignment. So it was like when all of the planets were aligned, and I can't remember how often that happens, but I know that it won't happen for at least like another 20 years, probably longer, but yeah, honestly do not know. But it was such a cool experience, like just seeing them all aligned in the sky, and they were all visible, which is really cool. And then I think I saw 2 shooting stars that night as well, so it was definitely like a very lucky night for stargazing, and I love stars, so that was a cool moment. And then in March, someone in my house, Cher, started pissing in the garden right by the back step, and that was a fun way to start the month, and it was really making me love my house sharing experience even better. So we love that. And an exciting part of March, which is better than the pissing outside the back door, is I started my YouTube channel, which is something that I've put off for years and years and years. Loved YouTube since I was little, so it kind of only like made sense to start it. And yeah, that was something that was a big milestone for me. And another thing that I did in March, which isn't in my character, but I just saw this guy and I was like, you're just, you know, I have to introduce myself. So I got my friend Abby to give him my number, and we ended up texting. Things didn't go anywhere, but I was still very proud of myself. I mean, technically Abby, for giving my number to him. So we love that. And another thing that happened in March is I bought tickets to go and see Tana Mojo and Brooke Schofield at the cancelled live show, and that was something that I was so excited for, because my breakup was the feelings of my breakup was saved by that podcast, and it just truly was like just crazy to me that I could be in the same room as those people that got me through such a difficult time. So yeah, I was really grateful for that. I'm really excited. And my second YouTube video got 300 views, which isn't a lot to some people, but for my second video, and I think it was within the first couple of days, I got that amount of views, and I think that's pretty good going for such a small channel and my second video. So I was very happy about that. And the next thing, which isn't so positive, I've done like a mixture of positive and negative things throughout the year, because that's just life and that's just how my life goes. It's just negative, positive, but we just keep pushing, keep growing. And look at me now, I'm a different version to the one that started in 2025. So the weird guy in the room next to me left on my note in the fridge, the same Tia from TikTok, ? And I just thought that was really strange. I expressed that to him, he didn't think it was weird, but I just, didn't really know the purpose of that. In April, I started baking a lot more, so I made like cupcakes and just like loads of other things, and I really started to enjoy like cooking for myself a lot more, which was really fun. Then the weird guy made a TikTok which involved filming inside my cupboard, which was another weird thing to do. Like, he just did not need to film my cupboard. So that obviously pissed me off, and I hated that house even more. But another thing is I also filmed a lot more videos, and I viewed my dream flat, which I didn't end up getting, but it was so amazing to just like be putting myself out there and just seeing what worked. And yeah, that led me on to May. And this first note is crazy, but when I saw this like in my pictures, I just kind of had to mention it. But I had a boy that I was kind of messaging, you know, we had started speaking from a dating app, so that was the first red flag. But he was like talking to me for a couple of weeks and like was being really sweet, being really cute, and then he just started being weird and he was like, I just need to fuck, honestly. I'm just gonna say that again. I just need to fuck, honestly. And I was like, okay. So that's where we're at. I thought we were sweet, cute, wholesome, romantic, you know, I'm the love of your life. And now you're saying that to me. So that's super fun. That was another failed whatever the hell that was. I got a bit cold, so put on my dressing gown and gonna finish the rest of the episode in my dressing gown because it's too cold out here. So the next thing that happened in May is we went to London, me and Abby, and we went and fell in love with Black Sheep, I think it was called. It was like this really cute coffee shop. It was like quite a big branch, but we don't have that down here, so I fell in love with that. We fell in love with that, and we went to London because we were going to the cancelled live show, and that was honestly one of the best nights of my life. I did a whole video on it, but basically it was just so surreal to me that I was in the same room as my icon, Tana Mojo, and Brooke. She's also an icon. Tana is my main girl. I've loved her since I was 13 or 14 and was just so surreal to be in the same room as her. And the same night that I went to the live show, I went back to the hotel room and saw that I had got hate comments from an ex-friend of mine, and proper weirdo. Just got to put that out there because she pretended to be my ex-boyfriend in these hate comments and created a whole YouTube channel for it. I think that was a bit far, seeing as you're just like some pathetic weirdo and like I'm trying to do something for myself, and here you are just following me because you clearly want to be me and has always wanted to be me because you wanted my boyfriend when we were together. So let's just leave that there. But clearly not salty about it, just I think it's really weird to bring other people down when you were that close to them, and I guess that's just life, that's just people, but it ain't me. I don't do that, so bye bye. But anyway, another thing that I did was started getting more creative. So I was doing more like painting and just things that I used to enjoy as a kid more, and yeah, was just getting better for expressing myself in that way as well. But in June I started making some money off TikTok, and then the oil saga started. And if you don't know what that is, check out my recent podcast episodes about it because I don't really want to go into it. It was quite traumatic, and I feel like the video itself speaks volumes. And yeah, if you want to hear about that, find out about that, go check that one out. But I'm not going to dive into it here, but that's when it started. And I made my first roast that month, which was banging. It was really difficult for the first time, but loved it, smashed it. I've made roasts since. And I went to the beach for the whole day by myself, and I'd never done anything like that before, especially because of my anxiety. Like I really used to struggle going out by myself, so it was really exciting to just go to the beach and like order for myself and just sit and chill for like hours on end. And yeah, I was really proud of myself for that. And in July, the oil saga escalated more and more and more, which led to me getting a camera in my room. So that was a fun start to the month. And I finally got saved from that hellhole of a house. Not entirely, but I finally had like an escape plan because I signed to move into this place, which was really exciting. And yeah, I was just so happy that I finally got to do it because I really needed to get out of there. And I'm so glad that now I'm thriving and doing a lot better than I was in that house. And another thing that I did in July was ate pizza in the rain with my drunk friends down by the beach. And that was not one of my wisest decisions, to lead my friends to just sit underneath like this little hut when we could have went to the train station. But no, it was just like a funny little memory I wanted to put in there. And in August, I booked flights to go to Amsterdam for my birthday, which was super exciting. I'd never left the country by myself. I'd never been on like a girls' holiday. And I was turning 22 in Amsterdam, and I just, yeah, was so excited for it, despite all of the stuff that was going on at home and like me worried to leave my stuff in the UK. But I just thought, I'm gonna have an amazing time, let's just do it, and whatever happens, happens. So when before I went to Amsterdam, actually, I created my most most viewed video on YouTube, which was really exciting. It got a lot more views than all of my other ones, like kind of instantly, and it's still my highest viewed video to this day. So that was quite an achievement. But then we went to Amsterdam and I had like the best time, and there were obviously some moments there which weren't the best, but overall it was like a really good holiday and one of my best birthdays. And not much really happened in August because after I came back from Amsterdam, all I was doing was just mentally preparing to get through those last weeks at that house and to move out. I had to like save all my money and used all my time to help like move my stuff out. And in September, I started it off with a end of summer work party, which was super fun. And the only reason why I kind of wrote this down was because it was such like a good time. But I also almost got in a car crash that night. So I learned a big mistake that night, to never get in a car with somebody whilst they're drunk. And I knew that was stupid, but I had to learn that lesson. And I'm glad I did learn that this year. But another thing that happened in September was I moved into this place. And that was so surreal, so exciting, and I really struggled in the beginning because I had to teach myself how to live without being constantly in fear and constantly watching things, and also had to teach myself how to look after myself again and eat proper food and just treat myself with so much more care than I was able to in the past couple of months in the other house. So that was a big part of my growth this year, was going through that whole traumatic event and pushing through even though I really thought that I couldn't, and ending up here in a lot better of a place. And I also created my podcast in that month, which was another thing that I did to push myself, to get myself out there, get my ideas out there. And yeah, I have enjoyed doing it so far. In October, I didn't really do much. I had a date night to myself and I chilled out and made more videos, which is kind of what I needed to do after the stress and the chaos of all the months I just talked about. Yeah, I was just like processing everything that I went through. In November, I started the month with another situationship, which did end beginning of this month, I think. Yeah, like beginning of this month. So it was only like a 1 month situationship, but I did really like him. Thought we had a vibe, but we just had to end things because I don't think we're very aligned. And yeah, just thought I'd mention that in there as well. Is it's okay to just think that things are gonna work out, but in reality you just have to like learn the lessons from them and put yourself first through all these things, and eventually better things will find you. But yeah, I went on a bowling date with him and I had cuddles with my auntie's baby, and I hadn't really held like a baby since my little brother, and he's like a little bit older now. So yeah, that was really cute. I also spent some more like family time in October, which was really good for me because I didn't really do much of that in the beginning of the year because I didn't have the inner strength to really do that because of how badly living in that other house and all the other things that I'd been through. God, getting like a bit emotional apparently. But yeah, didn't have the strength to be around my family because I needed to isolate to be able to survive, basically. So it was really nice to be able to spend some more time with my family. And then now on to December. In December, I decorated some Christmas cookies, which was really fun. I decorated my first Christmas tree and decorated this place for Christmas for my first place out of home. And I did a makeup look which was like inspired by Zara Larsson's makeup artist, and that has inspired me to get back into makeup a lot more. So that has been a good thing from this year. I watched Vlogmas, which brought me a lot of joy and got me through a lot of, difficult moments. And I spent Christmas with my dad and my dog, and we had a really nice couple of days together. It was just very wholesome, very chilled, and probably one of like the nicest Christmases I've had in a long time. But that kind of leads up to now, and it's the end of the year now, and I just wanted to reflect back on my year because it's been one hell of a one, but it's been amazing yet really chaotic. So I think it perfectly fits like this podcast, Delusional Chaos. That's what this whole year has been about. So yeah, just wanted to share that with you guys, and just wanted to say that I hope you had a good Christmas period and you have a good rest of 2025, and I'm excited for 2026 to put some more thought into my goals and grow more and go through more pain and share it with you all. But I hope that you enjoyed listening to today's episode of Delusional Chaos, and if you did, then make sure you give it a like, comment or subscribe. And if you want more content just like this, then let me know in the comments below. But stay delusional, embrace the chaos, and I will see you again for another episode. Love you. Bye.